This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, July 4th, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. The 2019 murder rate has now moved to 31. Last evening, one of the men who was shot Tuesday night passed away sometime after 7. 27-year-old Akim Jabari Leon was previously listed in critical condition after receiving multiple injuries while at 3rd Avenue Manning's Land Bank Hall, St. Michael. He was outside a shop in the area when a vehicle pulled up and men got out and opened fire before driving off. Another man was also injured. The Royal Barbados Police Force, which announced it has upgraded its probe to a homicide investigation, is appealing to the public for any assistance they can offer in this matter. Persons with information are asked to contact the Black Rock Police Station at 417-7500, CID 430-7189, Police Emergency 211 or any police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS, that's 1-800-8477. Former Police Commissioner Orville Durant is cautioning Barbados against rushing towards changes on marijuana use. While the former top cop isn't saying whether he is for or against plans for a medical marijuana industry, he's insisting that all impacts should be considered.
I'd only urge that we think on it very, very carefully. I am aware that it has benefits, health benefits, and I can understand an exception being made there, but even in attempting to implement such an exception, you have to look very carefully to see what is the spin-off, see what other areas could be affected, and how can this be done without causing further problems in the society.
The uncertainty is finally over after 6 months of waiting and complaints of getting the runaround from the National Insurance Scheme. A 61-year-old widow is once again getting her benefits. Barbados Today's Karim Smith has the details.
2 weeks ago, with mounting expenses and dwindling income, the veteran fish vendor revealed she was at her wit's end with NIS officials who cut her benefits after hearing she had been remarried. Hines had been collecting $647 from the NIS ever since June 2015, when her husband of 31 years, Andrew Hines, passed away. After inquiring about her benefits in February, Hines was informed she would continue to be denied until the scheme could prove she had not been remarried. Just days after a Barbados Today article exposed the issue, Ms. Hines revealed she had received a check totaling the equivalent of 6 months' benefits owed to her. While the NIS so far has not released a statement on the matter, Ms. Hines said she was in contact with some officials in St. Vincent who NIS officials were reportedly attempting to contact for the last 6 months. While Ms. Hines is thankful her benefits have finally been restored, she still feels hurt when reflecting on the suffering and helplessness to which she was subjected, all because of a senseless rumor. Kareem Smith for Barbados Today.
Water has been restored to the Nature Fund Ranch, and founder of the NGO Corey Lane is attributing this to the outpouring of support received after he made a public appeal. The Barbados Water Authority restored the service to the Bruceville St. Andrew facility that caters to at-risk youth 4 days after it was disconnected back in May due to a $25,000 debt. Lane has explained that the ranch's water bill was particularly high because its line was initially attached to a pipe linked to the former sugar factory, and that bill had been transferred to theirs. He tells Barbados Today that talks are now taking place with the BWA for a permanent fix to the situation.
We are now locked in terms of negotiation, in terms of how we can correct this particular issue that we have, and also looking forward. I would like to really thank the Barbados Water Authority, and I'd like to thank the Barbadians that reached out and provided various donations, both for the water bill as is, and also made commitments to help us with our monthly bill. I think, and that was really the purpose of speaking to you, the media, in terms of when we have a problem, we don't need to hide it. We can reach out to society because we are all in this together. The Nature Fund Ranch works with Barbados youth. There are some people that made unfortunate comments that I should take up my money and continue to pay. What they don't know is that I do that already with the food. I do that with the fuel. I do that with the feed. It's a tremendous burden on me. I can no longer carry 200 of our young people on a monthly basis on my back. And I would like more Barbadian society, corporate Barbados and government to step up and assist our young people.
Minister of Agriculture Inder Ware won't be intervening in the industrial relations matter at the Barbados Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation, BADMC, at least for now. Despite reports of deteriorating relations, Minister Ware says he doesn't believe the matter has reached critical levels. He is instead expressing confidence that agreement will soon be reached on matters that are outstanding between the BADMC management and the National Union of Public Workers, which represents the employees.
The BADMC, that's part of the process. You know that there's due process when the unions are involved. There have to be negotiations, and during those negotiations, obviously, you will have the expressions of opinions by interested parties. I think the union has its role to play. The union is part of the social partnership that was created with this government under the Ministry of Labor. And I, as minister, have every respect for the union. But what I will do is let the process take place. I'm equally confident that any issues that are raised, whether negotiative or issues that have been outstanding over time, will be amicably resolved at the level of the board and at the BADMC.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In the region, St. Lucian Prime Minister Alan Chasney is publicly declaring his position on Venezuela as he takes over the chairmanship of CARICOM. The incoming chairman insists he is against any military intervention in the South American country and instead wants dialogue. Back in March, the St. Lucian Prime Minister, along with the leaders of Jamaica, Haiti, and the Bahamas, took the controversial decision to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, and he has consistently sided with the U.S., which recognizes Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaido as the leader of that country. Prime Minister Chasney spoke on the matter at the opening of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting being hosted by his country.
The position of the Caribbean community on Venezuela has not changed. We've agreed that the resolution must be by dialogue, and it must be a Venezuelan-made solution, and that there should be no military intervention, that the rule of law must apply, and that the humanitarian situation must be addressed. We also re-emphasize the notion that the Caribbean region must remain a zone of peace. However, we cannot run away from the impact that Venezuela is having, especially as it relates to the security and immigration in the countries within close proximity. Given the critical importance of finding a solution to this crisis and the invaluable work of the special committee appointed by CARICOM, headed by the outgoing chairman Timothy Harris, I am grateful that they have agreed to continue to take the lead on this issue. I have pledged and continue to pledge my full and unwavering support as we seek to find a resolution.
And finally, on the international scene, Sudan's protest leaders yesterday agreed to hold direct talks with the ruling generals after African Union and Ethiopian mediators urged the two sides to resume stalled negotiations about a new governing body. We get more from France 24.
This is a big deal because since the crackdown, since the massacre that dispersed the protests violently on June 3rd, they've absolutely refused to negotiate with these leaders, obviously saying that these are the men who command some of the forces that killed protesters on June 3rd, and they refuse to engage with them. They've since been under significant pressure from the AU, from the Ethiopian-led mediation team, as well as from other diplomats from the US and the EU to sit down with the head of the military council as really the only means to sort of move the conflict forward and to put an end to this political conflict. So today they said they would do so. They did insist on certain stipulations, including the release of political prisoners and the turning back on of the internet there, which has been shut down by the government for the last 4 weeks. They also said that they would insist on the mediations taking place within a time frame of just 72 hours. So this is, regional analysts say, likely a tactic to prevent what we saw over the last few months there when they previously engaged with the military leaders. The negotiations stretched on for weeks, and they continued to go around in circles about how they would take the country forward.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.